Kimetsu no Yaiba, or Demon Slayer, is a currently ongoing manga series by mangaka Gotoge Koyoharu. The story revolves around elder brother Tanjirou, who we can assume that after the death of his father has picked up a lot of responsibility. Not only in terms of the role he plays in his family, but as we see throughout the beginning of the episode, many people rely on Tanjirou, his family's work, or his insane sense of smell for various different reasons. As he states himself, it's not an easy life, but it's one surrounded with love and happiness. That is until he makes it back the next day with his entire family slaughtered. All but one, barely alive younger sister, Nezuko, who is slowly turning into a human-eating demon. Kimetsu no Yaiba, much like a lot of series recently, it feels like has a very dark or ominous story. It's heartbreaking seeing anybody go through something similar to what Tanjiro had to go through. But there's something about Tanjiro. Maybe it's his pre-established kindness or absolute love for his family that just makes seeing him go through this hurt a lot more. Tanjiro is kind, and kindness has gotten him this far, yes, but will it get him to where he wants to go? Will kindness get him to a place where he'll be able to speak to demons and have them propose to him a method in which he can turn his sister Nezuko back into a human? Will kindness work in this new dark world he's entering? One where demons eat humans without bias, and where Demon Slayer's sole purpose is to slay those very demons. This is essentially, in a nutshell, the idea that our other prominent but mysterious character this episode, Tomioka Giyu, proposes. As I mentioned, Tomioka is a very mysterious character. We are left wondering quite a lot about him, but there are some things about him that we can garner from his actions and dialogue. First, and most important I'd say, is that we're able to recognize that Giyu is quite a serious person, though that doesn't mean he lacks sympathy. He, in his own way, tries to understand Tanjiro's situation, and not only validates and understands the way he's acting, but he also feels partly responsible. If only I was here half a day sooner, he says. But he also understands that there's nothing he can do for Tanjiro and his family now, which is a mindset that takes time to establish. Think about it. How many demons has Giyu slain? How many cries for help has he chased only to not make it in time? And how many times has he heard the same words, Tanjiro, in a desperate attempt to save his sister, blurted out, only to believe them and end up regretting it? Kindness seems to be something both Giyu and Tanjiro possess. However, Giyu is able to suppress these feelings. And Tanjiro will presumably have to learn to do the same if he has any hope in getting his sister back to normal. And with their families buried, and their home losing every single aspect of it that made it feel like one, there's nothing keeping Tanjiro and Nezuko there. All Tanjiro and Nezuko can do now is move forward and long for the day that they're not only able to turn Nezuko back into a human, but also avenge their family. So much like my discussion videos for The Promised Neverland, apart from discussing characters, plot points, and other aspects of this anime series, I'm also going to be discussing how each episode does as an adaptation. So let's begin. This episode begins the coverage of volume 1 of the manga and covers the entire first chapter of this series. Right off the bat, the first thing that became evident to me when I first read Kimetsu no Yaiba was its very unique art style. There's a certain roughness or weight to it, which I absolutely love, and Ufotable was able to capture this roughness while also making it look absolutely beautiful. Just in general, aesthetically, this first episode was brilliant, and that brilliance is just enhanced by the many equally as brilliant compositions. I'll also say that despite this episode only adapting one chapter, it was paced ridiculously well. Which is odd, because it literally felt as if they just took the entire first chapter and just adapted it panel for panel, all the while adding some very minimal but cute interactions in order to extend dialogue and not cut it down. But then again, this is the same studio that literally let 3 characters talk circles around each other for like 5 minutes, so why am I not surprised? However, do take note that this is also coming from somebody who doesn't mind very dialogue heavy series / scenes. Especially if that dialogue is coming from some of his favorite seiyus like Hanae Natsuki and Sakura Takahiro. The action sequences, not only in the episode itself, but in the OP, looked phenomenal. I'm by no means a Sakura head, so bear with me as I try to explain myself to the best of my abilities. Oftentimes during fight scenes, you'll see characters and their environments become a lot simpler or less detailed, and I can only imagine that this is because simpler objects open the realms of possibilities when it comes to things like movements and exaggeration. However, at least from the Ufotable works I've seen, they seem to get this movement not from simplifying character models or environments, but with 3D environments and camera movement. Not that I have a preference for either one, but I do think that a big initial appeal for this series was its look. So the fact that it keeps its look even in those sequences with a lot of movement is a huge plus. So if you can't tell by now, I think this episode did a phenomenal job as an adaptation and building upon the foundation that Gotoge Koyoharu set. However, as great of a series I think Kimetsu no Yaiba is, it's still a manga series that is hit or miss for a lot of people. A lot of people tend to think that this series, especially the beginning part of it, is extremely dull, and others love it right from the start. Me personally, I loved it right from the start, and I hope that the anime series will change the minds of those who maybe gave this series a shot, but later on decided that it was not worth their time. Because at the end of the day, the whole point of a manga series getting an anime adaptation is to hopefully build upon a solid foundation and improve that by adding to it things that can only be seen done in animation, and for that to attract more people into a series' fan base. And hopefully, if the staff working on this series continue to do as great of a job as I think they did in this first episode, we should have a solid anime series in our hands. But hey, these are all my thoughts and I'm curious to read yours. So if you're an anime only, let me know your first impressions on this series. And if you're a manga reader, let me know how you felt Ufotable adapted this episode. And without giving away too much for those people who haven't read the series, let me know some of the things you're excited to see animated in the course of the next 25 episodes, I think. Also, feel free to discuss anything I forgot to mention in the comments below, and please like the video if you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and to hit that bell, that way you don't miss a video and can continue watching Kimetsu no Yaiba and many other series with me. And with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.